Let's pray. Father God, thank you for the privilege of being here this evening to conduct some of the business of the college and the provision of services and education to our community. Thank you for your mercy and your grace in our lives, the lives of our students and our community. We look forward to your voice speaking to us tonight as we have discussions and as decisions are made and votes are taken. Look forward to continue to serve the various communities in which you've placed us. Thank you for love and your mercy. We praise you. We look forward to your will being done in all things. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Wait. Can you bring the list of guests?
Before we begin, I would like to express the board and my congratulations to our rodeo team for the excellence they bring to Southwest Texas College for the recognition we received. It is important to recognize the gift we got from them. In addition to their athletic achievement, I understand that 25 of them will walk the stage tomorrow night or the next night to receive an associate's degree, a diploma, or a certificate on Saturday. Congratulations and thanks for the gift. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Welcome everybody and welcome our guests, including Ismael Martinez, Aida Escamilla, Roxanne Linan, Hector Rivera, Wade Carpenter, Brenda Hoffman, Melissa Lopez, Audrey Haynes, April Ruman, Randa Shell, Eric Sandoval, Mark Underwood, Lisa Ernest, Cruz Mata, Chuck Garbedian, Connie Buchanan, Lady Estrada, Steve Martinez. Anybody I've missed? Welcome. You have an audience to pick?
No, sir.
No audience. First order of it, business is to administer oath of office to the elected trustees who recently got reelected.
Yes. Mr. Lopez will come and administer the oath to Ms. Lopez, Ms. Shackelford, and Ms. Mata.
We need
You want us all
to
together?
stand up.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Yes,
Do I need to put my name on it?
Which one?
Oh, it's on there.
I got two.
No, you need to sign this
In
one.
front of her.
There's two forms. She'll need to memorize the second one. Yes.
Okay,
Sign.
here. Are you sure?
This is the one we need, right?
Yes, sign it.
We gotta say it. Why would I want it?
Sign. Yeah,
The one up that says officer?
Yes.
The not that one.
Yes. Yes.
No.
Two forms.
Yeah, but he's doing the
I
notary.
got two of them. Which one?
Sign both.
This one?
Sign both.
I
Okay.
see it. Okay, now I get it.
Okay.
Yes. That's
There, right?
Yeah, no, I don't know where.
Yeah, you sign there. That's signature of the officer.
And then there's one for her.
And this one too.
Today is 5 and
16.
16.
You too, doctor? Can you sign
This one, 16.
So today is the 16th of May.
Okay. Which one do you want?
that? Victor, Anita,
Lara Lopez and Lopez. Who's the third?
That's the one you're gonna memorize.
Okay.
You want us together?
It's not that Victor.
You want us
more
in?
comfortable. Oh, and then, Anita? Yes.
Okay, still.
You want us over there or what?
Yeah, you can do it right here in the middle.
So you're gonna repeat after me. You're gonna repeat after me. You're can state your name after I say I. So, raise your right hand. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas, I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office of trustee of Southwest Texas Junior College Board of Trustees of the state of Texas and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and of this state, so help me God.
Ms. Shackelford, you need to sign her book.
Did they take a
¿Te
picture?
firmaste?
I'll get a picture. Wait, did you get a picture?
That's right. That's right.
Awesome.
I got them doing the work.
¿Qué quieres hacer? Que se queden iguales.
I'm the young guy, whatever.
Ajá. Pues, you make the motion. No?
We have a train today. Joyce thinks she's enjoyed her. I don't know. Are we? Up to somebody to do something. Next order of business is to consider an act on reorganization of the Board of Trustees. Do I hear a nomination to succeed as president?
I'm gonna make a move that we go ahead and keep the way it is right now.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to keep the board as it is today. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Okay, we can rescind it. That's
Thank you,
fine.
thank you all so much. I appreciate that. And we'll continue to try and do the best we can. Next, we have the president's report.
Yes, sir. Item number 6 in your board packet. So I'll begin with the tech expansion. We had our concrete slab poured very early Saturday morning. I believe they started at midnight. And they finished about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So the slab is poured. We're waiting on some compression tests on the samples of the concrete. Once it reaches an adequate strength, then they'll commence with the building components. The building components have arrived. So that's where we are with that. Phase 1B, the modular, and this is the Eagle Pass truck routing relocation. The modular has been ordered from Palomar. We anticipate July 15th delivery. The permits have been submitted to the city of Eagle Pass today. So we hope to have the final elevations for all the site work that's going to be required for the board to consider and approve at the June board meeting. And then, of course, the diesel expansion, which is not going to be too detailed, but we are planning to add a lean-to exterior cover so they can work on heavy equipment that doesn't fit inside the building. So as soon as the warehouse is done, we can begin with that. And our plan is to have truck driving power line ready for the fall here. Truck driving power line ready for the fall in Eagle Pass, and then diesel and construction ready for the fall in Eagle Pass, in Uvalde. So that's our targets there. Any questions on the tech expansion? Okay.
The diesel expansion is gonna be across the road over there.
No, that's going to be truck driving and power line and the warehouse.
The diesel expansion, where's it gonna go?
It's going adjacent to the existing warehouse now, where construction science is. Construction science will be in the current warehouse, and then that where auto body used to be, that's going to be the diesel lab. On the financials, 8 months into our fiscal year, we're holding at 892 excess revenue and 622,000 in our contingency account. And began the year with 13,826,000 unrestricted fund balance. So just to recap where we're at, we're working on the budget as we speak. And our plan is to have that discussion with the board, either at the budget workshop or in combination with the board meeting for June. On the name change, and I think in your packet we have an agenda item. We've been identifying all the areas that will require modification and change in our signage, beginning with the very exterior campus signs down to changing the design on our business cards. There's a lot of the work that needs to be done so we secured a year ago when we changed the name, we secured a different domain of www.swtx.com .edu versus the JC. So we have that website. So now what we have to do is all of our software, we have to redirect it to the new website, and it's going to be a pretty penny, and we can discuss that as we get to that agenda item number 10. But that's what the team's been working on, is identifying all the areas that we can where it's going to require some kind of change or modification. And then commencement, we have, of course, 3 commencement ceremonies tomorrow at 7. Doors open an hour and a half before. If the board could get there at 45 minutes before, that should be sufficient to get in there, get regalia on and adjusted and get in line. We will have lunch between the 10 o'clock and 1 ceremonies there at the Fairplex. And then beginning on June the 3rd, running through August the 2nd, we will modify our schedule to summer hours, and those are Monday through Friday, 8 to 6, and Fridays, 8 to noon. Any questions?
Not for me.
Thank you for that report. Appreciate it so much. Next, we have a item to consider an act on consent agenda. Do we have any changes or additions to the board meeting minutes from April 18th? Any changes to the financial statement or additions to the financial statement from April 30th?
Let's go ahead and make a motion. We will approve the consent agenda 7A and 7B.
Second.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Any opposed? Report, we have a commencement schedule update.
Yes, this is report 8. Are you going to do this one, Cruz, or Steve? Our registrar, Steve Martinez, will give us an update.
Good evening, board members, Dr. Donald, here with the audience. So we're here at our Super Bowl. So we're excited to put on another commencement ceremonies for our graduates between Friday and Saturday. So for Friday, 7 p.m.
Oh.
The mic being filled.
Good evening. So for tomorrow evening at 7 p.m., it will be our ceremony for our early college and dual credit high school students from all our area high schools. The only exclusion at this time due to their high school graduation would be Uvalde, Canepa, and Sabinal, who will be invited to participate in the Saturday morning liberal arts ceremony that will be at 10 a.m. So for Friday's evening ceremony, the doors will open at 5:30 p.m. to the public. On Saturday, for the 10 a.m. ceremony, doors will open at 8:30 a.m. to the public. For the 1 p.m. Applied Sciences program, doors will open at 12 p.m. to the general public. So we will have security on hand to scan as all our patrons are going to be walking into the doors. And then we'll be handing out programs and see everybody accordingly. So we look forward to having that ceremony for all of our students. One of the new additions that we're going to have to our exit strategy for all of our graduates and guests is that we're going to be using the pavilion area as our gathering. After the conclusion of the ceremony, what we're going to do is the order of ceremony will exit from the facility where we're going to assist with a commencement team and law enforcement to escort our graduates from the rodeo arena across the parking lot to the pavilion area. And then we'll have our family and friends of the graduates gather to take photo opportunities at the pavilion area. So that would be a new addition that we'll have. Parking will be available in the front areas of the pavilion. Unlike last year, I know we had a couple of events going on, but we'll have all those parking areas available to the general public, along with more parking for our handicapped personnel. So, do I have any questions in regards to our commencement ceremonies that can address for you? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate your report. Next on the agenda, we have admissions and registrar's report.
Steve will do that one.
Feel like I've been here before. I believe board members may have been provided with my report. So for admissions and registrars, our initiative for our strategic goals, which align with the institution's strategic plan, is geared towards HB8, which is for completion rates. So one of the things that we do primarily as for our graduates is we work with our students to review their degree plans and confirm completion of their respective certificate or degree program. However, being that we want to maximize the number of completed students that we have, other alternatives that we're using is we use, in collaboration with our success coaches, we use dashboards to identify students that we could auto award, meaning that there's maybe students that may not be aware that they have already met requirements for another credential versus what they just applied for on their graduation application. We look for example, a student who may have Associate of Arts in General Studies may qualify for an Associate of Science in General Studies, or perhaps maybe a Certificate 2 would lead to an Associate of Applied Science, perhaps maybe 1 or 2 courses away. So we want to inform the student that they are eligible for other credentials. Additionally, to add to that, we have students that we are looking to do what we call a reverse transfer. So there may be students who came to the institution and perhaps completed their 42 hours of core, English, history, government, math, may have taken only a handful of electives, but transferred out with maybe 2-3 electives to go to complete. Well, using a student tracker service through the National Student Clearinghouse, which is a partner for about 99% of higher education in the country, we can track those students to where they had transferred to, request those transcripts from other schools and universities they transferred out to, and actually pick up those grades and auto award them here for SWTJC so that we can also include them on our state CBM report for graduation, which also gives us points that assist with the new formula model, which is what HB8 represents. So again, the takeaway from that is that we're using all that data and collaboration and different resources to make sure that we're maximizing and informing students that have credentials. Even if they're no longer here, we can still graduate them and have that on the record as completers for the institution to assist with our funding. So that represents objective 3.1, which is our completion rate, which aligns with our strategic plan. And so the way we're going to measure that is through respective reports that we have. So some statistics that I did provide that show an in progress in comparison to academic year 22-23 compared to 23-24. So the institution has 3 different graduation periods. We have our fall, which is in December, spring, which is currently in May, and then we have our summer, which is in August. So as you can see, last year in December, we had 144 graduates officially that we have on record. We had 138, so pretty much evened out. At this point, last year for May, we had 942. Currently, over the weekend, we did officially graduate 931. However, we have about another pending 60 to 70 graduates that have a course or 2 that are incomplete because they're under technical programs. So those grades will be reported here within the next few days. So that's actually going to take us closer to 1,000. So we're going to exceed what we had last year. So again, we're meeting that goal of actually increasing, which we're looking to have our increase of at least 10%, and then grow that number using the different resources that I mentioned. And then for our summer period, we'll start accepting our graduation applications for summer after commencement on May 20th, leading up to the end of August. So that way we can graduate, and then we'll get that number to compare to see where our increases were at, and then where we can better focus to improve the completion rates of our students.
Thank you.
Are there any questions that I may address for anyone? Thank you for your time.
Thank you for that report. Next on the agenda, we have a cybersecurity report.
Hopefully that I will. I'd like to welcome everybody to Cybersecurity Specialist. We're going to talk a little bit about our program. Dr. President Gonzalez, Dr. Watkins, the rest of the board, as well as you in the audience as well. So just really quickly, a little bit about myself before we actually get into the program and how we started. So actually, I think this is my 20th or 21st year here at Southwest Texas Junior College. I also taught at Texas A&M International. That's where I got my master's degree, Master of Science in Information Systems. I have a BS in Weather Communications, and I'll mention that in just a few minutes. I've worked for a private weather company. I've worked for the state of Texas. I've also done on broadcast meteorology in Laredo for a couple of years. I would do the 6 and 10 newscasts Monday through Friday as well. As far as really quickly, I did implement a program or project where we did install a weather radar, a remote weather radar near Bruni, Texas, and we also had some weather stations, and we tried to ground truth of what weather radar saw versus what was actually going on. So basically about me, I love technology. I absolutely love technology. Some of y'all have seen the pictures of my monitors right at home. I love technology. I love the weather. Okay, I'm still a meteorologist at heart, so I love both things, and that's pretty much says what you need to know about me. We're going to talk. These are the things we're going to talk about. What is cybersecurity? What are the dangers? And we're going to talk about our program and the job outlook as well as the salary, because it helps to know what our students are going to be doing when they get out and get a job, what their role is going to be, you know, for various companies and organizations. What is it? Here's a definition, a long definition, but basically I'll tell you it's protecting information and data. That's what it's all about. Your data, the college's data, information, private, whatever may be, you're protecting data and information. That's basically what it's all about in a nutshell. Very simple. And if you look here, we talk about, this is called the CIA triad. And basically, it's like a circular thing. And once again, protecting information, right? Confidentiality, and we'll talk a little bit more about, for example, what can happen with HIPAA in a bit. Integrity, you don't want your information to get changed. You don't want it to get changed. You don't want false or bad information. You want it to remain intact. And there are instances where people have gone and changed information. Okay? And also availability, you always want it to be accessible. And what I'm going to give one example here. I believe you heard in Del Rio back in 2019, they got ransomware, which I'll talk more about in a minute. And they said they were down for a week, but we didn't get bills for 6 months. Because whatever it may be,
for whatever reason, there's something called attack surfaces, and there's different ways to get into your system. And we'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay. But you always want it to be accessible, and there is, it's called a CIA triad. Basically the same thing, protection, right? Nothing changes, maintain integrity, always have it available. Now here we'll talk a little bit about the dangers, and the number one danger in cybersecurity as far as threats are people getting compromised. And the number one way is phishing, emails and text messages, right? And I'm sure y'all have all had those crazy emails, right? And sometimes they're very believable, and you have to give it a double take. Like sometimes I'll even get an email from Bank of America, I'm like, oh, is this really Bank of America? So I don't even bother. I go into the Bank of America website and I go and actually go and see. I go in there. I don't trust any email that I get unless it's from somebody I know. And when you get this phishing, you get malware. People will inject malicious software. You click on a link. Okay, now they're in. They got your password information. They have all your passwords and login information. And they go into the organization, the company, and they can go in and start looking around. And they can get places depending on how your network is set up, depending on how you have the software set up, depending on how you have the hardware set up, they can go places. They can go in and steal information. For example, Del Rio, they got and were able to encrypt all of city utilities' data. And they couldn't get to it. They had, I don't know if they paid a ransom or not, but the rumor is that they paid a ransom. I don't know if that's true or not. Okay. So you have to be careful with that. As individuals, even as companies here at SWTJC, we see it here, right? We see the crazy emails, right? Weak passwords. How many of y'all have weak passwords? Let's be honest, because passwords are a pain, right?
Yes.
And now we're getting into two-factor authorization. Passwords, you have to be really, because there will be people that will just try your passwords. Actually, they use software. They'll just try your passwords over and over again. Let's say somehow some of your information got leaked on the dark web and they bought it and they know your username and they know where you work, and they can just use the password crack to get into your password. So that's part of the reason here at the college we have to change our password. So what is it, every 90 days? Something like that? Like, oh my God, why do I have to change the password, right? But you got to, there's a reason for that. Okay. Social engineering. This often will happen. People start talking to you, they become your buddy, right? They become your friend. Or maybe they know you work at a position that's, really high tech, really, very sensitive information, and they become friends with you. Can you use your computer for a little bit? Things of that nature, right? Unsecured network and devices. You have to have a plan. You have to have your hardware set up. You have to have your software set up. You have to have employee training. Very important. Because the main thing is you want to prevent. And then if they get in, then it goes into mitigation. And our students will deal with all those situations. Then you get a mitigation, and then it goes on and on. Okay. And you hear every day, right? You hear about these things every day. And theft and ransomware, we talked about Del Rio. Steal the data, sell the data. For example, this is kind of an aside, but one thing I never do is I've had credit cards compromised. Have any of y'all ever had credit cards compromised? But it's better than having your debit card compromised. So I would suggest that you use credit cards and not your debit card and online transactions. This is just an aside because credit cards is their money. Debit card is your money. Okay. So that's just something to be aware of. I never use debit card unless I'm taking money out of an ATM. So this is what we have right now. Okay. We have 1 year and 2 year certificates. We also have an AAS option as well. Okay. Right now, currently we're in Uvalde, Del Rio, and Eagle Pass. We had initial enrollment of 24, and first year we had year one completers with 17. So this just started in late August. This is a brand new program. So second cohort is expected in fall 24. What are they doing in our program? Concept. And notice here, report writing. Why report writing? As we go on in time with the advent of artificial intelligence. One of the most important things is going to be the ability to communicate. Whether I'm the CEO and my team's reporting to me, hey, why do they need more resources for cybersecurity? They need to be able to explain that to me. What happened? They broke in. They need to be able to explain that to me, both verbally as well as in a written manner. Okay, so I think that's very important. And I do have them do scenarios where they have to write reports, and then I evaluate that. But that's actually, I think that's extremely important, especially with AI. They're going to end up using their own they're going to use their own agents. Their own intelligent agents are going to be helping them. So things are, it's like an arms race. Things just continue to, I'm sure y'all heard about AI. Things just continue to just, go through the roof, right? And they can also get the Associate of Applied Sciences. Also, this is important. We're giving them certifications, right? 1 and 2 year certifications. And also the online portal gives them a certification as well, the option, a voucher to take a certification. But other industry certifications are extremely important because people that hire are looking for those. Okay? Those are also, and I stress that with them. Okay? Extremely important that they get other certs as well. Probably CSAB, which computer, different certifications. Right? So it's really important. Why is it a good field to get into? Rapid growth. It is growing rapidly. There's also skill shortage as well. Not enough individuals with skills. What our program is going to do basically is give them the fundamentals. Because in cybersecurity, it is huge. You cannot be an expert at everything. You're going to have to be a specialist. Okay? Specialist probably within a team or within a group. So we give them a lot of the fundamentals, and of course the companies will train them in specific areas. So we're doing a lot of fundamentals for them. A lot of different types of subjects, a lot of different subject matter, but we're giving them fundamentals. And right now, by next year, 3.5 million unfilled positions by 2025. A lot of positions available. And an expected growth rate of 35% by 2031. So this is a field that is growing and growing significantly. And you'll see here in a second how important the U.S. is. In the United States, as of last year, number of jobs, 1,338,000. So it's a lot. Most of the jobs at this point are in the United States. And this is market size. This just talks about the resources that are going to be put into cybersecurity. 534 billion by 2032. That's the resources that are going to be put into it. A lot of money, a lot of potential jobs. So why is it continue to grow? Well, we have evolving threats, right? We have individual actors, we have group actors, we have state actors, okay? And they're always trying to, basically what they're trying to do is they're trying to make a quick buck, whether they sell it or they ransomware you, they're trying to make money, right? And sometimes cybersecurity or cyber defense is overlooked. Like a company may say, oh, why should we need to do this? That's so much money, right? But what happens, and I'll give an example here in regulation second, also remote work and cloud adoption, people work from home. So it used to be that people just worked on site, right? So that's avenues for people to actually get in and grab your information. But now a lot of people work from home. What if your home computer is not properly secured? Then you have an avenue to get there, okay? And a lot of it's on the cloud. I think a lot of our computation is done in the cloud, right, at this point. So there's a lot of jobs going to be available in protecting cloud computing. And all the cloud is just a bunch of computers at different sites, like thousands of computers at an offsite location, at a remote location. And one of the most, here, of course, Amazon, right? Amazon Work Servers, or AWS, right? That's probably one of the biggest right now. And then this right here is regulations. This is really important. And I often mention, I think, talk to them about HIPAA. HIPAA are the rules for you're not supposed to disclose information, correct? Let's say you're a health services company. You're dealing with patient data. And you did not set up your defenses properly. You did not set up your software properly. You did not set up your hardware properly. And they get in and get information. or ransomware you. The government does not care if you didn't want it to happen. If you didn't follow the rules, they will fine you. And if it's worth up to 100,000 per incident, I think it is now. Or if you really screw up, they up to 5 years in prison. So they don't play around. They don't care if, oh, I didn't mean to. If you don't follow the rules and you didn't secure it properly, you're gonna get fined. And not only that, imagine you have a company and they got in. You've seen all those instances where they offer you this and that for your information being leaked. You're gonna hurt your reputation, right? And you're gonna hurt your money. So our students are gonna be doing things of that nature eventually. Okay. Initially, they got to start at the beginning, right? But eventually, 5 years down the road, some of those students will be really, really, really good. Okay, and they'll have, and we'll talk about salaries here in a little bit. Internet of Things, one other thing I wanted to mention. Internet of Things, not only like computers or servers. How many of y'all have Alexa? Any of y'all have Alexa? Echo, the Amazon Echo, or smart refrigerators or smart TVs that are connected to the internet? That is a way for them if they wanted to get to.
No, I have a Chevrolet.
They can get to you if they want to. If they really, they can get into there. In fact, there was one guy that owned a cybersecurity company and he worked for a hospital, or they were his client. So he actually used their MRI to do attack so that he could solve the attack. An MRI machine, because it was connected. So he was going into an MRI machine to attack the hospital so that he could get paid to clean up all the damage. It's not just about prevention and it's mitigation, and you have to clean everything up and so forth and so on. So yeah, anything connected. I mean, even our cameras probably, anything connected. That's what's known as the Internet of Things. And these are the in-demand roles. This is probably what our students will be doing at first. Information security analyst, monitoring, make sure, design and implementing, and also incident responder, responding to breaches. But students, they'll probably initially start, they'll be monitoring networks, monitoring systems, make sure nothing unusual is happening. And they'll gradually go up to cloud security specialist. And this pen tester, you often think about hacking and ethical hacking, or people hacking. Only the best of the best actually do penetration testing. And that actually involves trying to penetrate on site, trying to get in the physical way on there, trying to get through people, trying to fish people, trying to get into the hardware, into the software. So actually you'll have people go around and go to organizations and see if they can get into the system. And that's a really nutty job. I mean, you're talking about $250,000 to do something like that. And here is the salary range, roughly. United States, 104,000 to 132,000. Entry level is probably around 50. Maybe in this area, maybe in the 40s. Okay. But still, it's not bad, right? That's not a bad salary at all. And gradually, you go to 50,000 to 250K, depending on what you do. So, students, they want money. This is a very well-paying job. It is a very well-paying job. Of course, you have to get in, right? And once you get in, though, you're in good shape. You're in really good shape. And these are some of my students. A few of them, anyway, from the Del Rio site when they were finishing up some things. So I put in that picture. So it's a really good field, and it pays well. But like I tell them, you have to work. It's continually evolving. You can't just say, "Oh, I did it, I'm done." They have to be continually educating themselves. That's just the way it goes. Anybody got questions?
So if we're trying to just set up our home computer,
Uh-huh.
do we invite the student?
I guess after they graduate, I mean they'll have some. Yeah, the thing is, it's all our material, right? But it's funny how much you actually learn just by the volume of material that we deal with. You could, I guess.
Well, I figured they would go into a firm or
what they can do,
phone.
okay, they can go into a firm, right? A firm that deals they offer cybersecurity services. They can go into individual businesses, individual companies.
Okay.
Because it's such a broad area. There's so many different things you can do.
Yeah.
So many different things you can do. Questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you for that
Thank you.
Next item on our agenda is to consider an act on a date for budget workshop for June board meeting.
Yes, sir. So in the past, what we've done is we've had the budget workshop at 6 and then the meeting at 7. That's until we change the meetings to 6 o'clock. So I don't know if you want to have a dedicated budget workshop on a different day, or do you just want us to incorporate it into the regular meeting?
Maybe come in at 5:30 or something, or
That's the way we've done it before, so keep it.
5:30? 5:30 budget workshop on the same day as the board meeting?
Make a motion.
also move for
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We'll have the board shop 30 minutes before the regular meeting in June.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, consider an act on authorizing college president to purchase the necessary items for the college name change.
Yeah, so this is item number 10, and attached to it, you'll see a list that we started compiling of the stuff that we've identified that needs to be changed. And it's pretty comprehensive. And then on the back page, you see all the data, the IT, network, web, and those are just estimates of what it will cost to get the programming to send our information to the new website. On the similar note, the preparation for the name change was an anticipation of us being able to do a baccalaureate degree. And if you recall, our threshold to be able to offer per the state is 6 billion and tax valuation. We were at 5.3 last year. This year, the preliminary numbers are right at 5.9, subject to process, so they'll probably come down a little bit. But in any case, it's about a growth of about 500 million. So I feel pretty confident that next year we should, get over that 6 billion threshold and then be able to start applying to the coordinating board to offer the degrees. So
I was reading that San Antonio College offers some bachelor's degrees.
they just started with 3, the nursing, the organizational leadership, and what was the third one?
Education?
Cybersecurity. So those were the 3 degrees that they're offering.
At the Alamo College District, right?
So I think St. Philip's is the one that's offering the DSM nursing. And I forget which of the other ones is the one offering the Bachelor of Flight Science and organizational leadership. And those are the first 2 that we would tackle, or will be those 2.
Those two, that'd be good.
Good. On this, the budget for the name change,
Yes.
are you going to do that in phases, or how are you going to do that?
We're trying to start with our most outward facing signs. So the sign by the road, on the buildings, and work our way in. But my challenge to the team is to try to get as much as we can done before we begin the fall semester. It's going to be a lot of work, but I think the more we can have done for fall, the better it's going to be.
And we're going to do all the, what company are you using?
It varies.
Are you going to put it out for bids or what?
Well, it depends on the type of lettering. So it's not that the lettering itself is expensive, is the volume of letters that we need. For example, the front sign here, that would be one. We also have buildings that have like a metal sign with the logo, so that's a different vendor. So the vendors are going to vary. We'll get quotes to see at the minimum 3 quotes and go with the lowest one on the various sizes, but they all vary as far as that. I don't think we probably have a single vendor that can produce everything.
That's correct.
And that's why we came with this agenda item, because it's going to be kind of a shotgun approach to piece together all the different vendors that we need to change the different letterings inside. A lot of it is decals, like for our vehicles, which may be different vendors than the signs that go on a brick wall or a brick building. Some of the stuff will be relatively easy, like the business cards. Those we print ourselves, the letterheads. We have it electronic and we just print it. So it's just a matter of changing the template. So those shouldn't be that expensive too. It's just redesigning the letterhead. But that kind of gives you a list of what, what. It's not budgeted, but that's why in my report, we have that 600 and something in the contingency. And that's the plan, is to use that contingency. We have put it in there for, in anticipation. We just didn't know, what that cost was going to be.
How much did you save on the election?
We saved at least 100,000 on the
So
election.
we can go in here.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion?
Yes, sir, please.
Do I hear a motion to accept the president's authorization to purchase the necessary items for the change?
Go ahead and move.
I hear a second. Motion's been made and seconded to authorize the college president to purchase the necessary items for the college name change. All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Anybody opposed? Motion passed. Next item on the agenda is to consider an act on the 24-25 student handbook, faculty handbook, and catalog.
Okay. Student handbook first. Cruz will present the student handbook. And then we'll take one motion for all three of them.
Okay.
Good afternoon. So hopefully you have the handouts.
My first time. On the handbook changes, pretty much it's simple changes, personnel updates, some additions and some removals. I can go over it if you want, or if you have any questions. I'm gonna go over it page by page, or you guys are good? Or? It's pretty much updates, very simple updates, name changes, simple stuff. One of the major changes was on page 3. We added under student complaints. It's just to make it more, the process a little bit more formal and more understandable for students. So that was the big major one. And some policy changes, and we added some hyperlinks so they can just click on it and it goes straight to the policy.
So really 3 through 7 is all the student complaint section
Yes,
that
sir.
we added. That's the
Yes, sir.
section to the student handbook. If there's no questions, we'll proceed to the
Yeah,
faculty
no
handbook.
questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Good evening, and likewise, you should have in your packet a list, as we traditionally do, of pages and the changes and corrections for each page. Pardon me. And as same thing, sort of as VP Mata said, most of the changes are updating titles and language that reflects the position's responsibility, for example, and reporting lines and those kinds of things. But again, happy to answer any specific items you may see. I will say that the student complaint procedure that Cruz just mentioned, that was updated to and matches up exactly with what's in the policy manual and also what is available in other spots. That's what the changes really were on that.
I'll make
There are a
motion
number,
to-
I'm sorry, there are a number of changes in the distance education language because our office personnel changed there. The supervisory folks on the technical side, so there's a good bit of, again, it's verbiage, but it was an office we didn't really have, and so there's a good bit of that. Excuse me for interrupting.
I was making a motion to approve the change.
Just noted on the catalog, we are updating on page 15. Amanda Hadley's listed as interim director. And striking the word interim, she's the director. So we're just making that correction to the printed copy that we have.
Well, I have a motion.
Second.
Motion and second has been made to accept the changes in the student handbook, faculty handbook, and the catalog. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Consider an act on the Hondo lease
Mark, you want to stay for that?
renewal.
Yes, so this is item number 12 in your board packet. Dr. Underwood has been working with the city manager in Hondo, and I believe there's no change in the cost. But walk us through the.
That's correct. It's exactly the same cost. We're requesting exactly the same rooms, number of rooms, and the actual rooms are the same. And there were some early discussions on perhaps changing the rates or changing the amount, but after 2 or 3 meetings, we all agreed that that was unnecessary. So it's exactly the same as the current lease, which expires at the end of this month.
There's no increase for inflation.
No, sir.
Do I hear a motion to
I so moved.
accept? Motion made, second. Motion made and seconded to consider an act on the Hondo lease approval, renewal. All in favor, say aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
We will now consider an act on personnel matters. Board will go into closed session in accordance with the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.074, to consider employment-related matters.
¿Cuánto duraste para caminar?
No, the first day que they did the surgery, the second day they had me up walking already. Yeah.
The board will now reconvene in open
Right
session
away.
to consider any other business.
No other business, sir?
No other business. I have a motion to
I
adjourn.
move we adjourn.
And do we have a second?
Second.
And motion and second have been made to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Get up.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I can't,
Thank you all for coming.
I can bend it about right there.
It just settled into.
Get some more sticks on the-
Yes.
No, pero me dicen que I've gotta get it stronger before they operate. It's too,
They're gonna send you for other therapy.
yeah, they, well, yeah, I don't know. What I don't know is if I do the surgery, will they let me do the